It's so funny. I was a YouTuber for years, and I like still don't know how to start a video. I guess I always say I'm gonna try and keep my videos short, but that's like very rarely the case. What I want to do is like go over a few different fib levels and just some projections for the week. I guess I say week, but it's like 2 trading days left. First of all, I'd like to apologize for not being super active on Twitter. For those of you that are like follow my tweets pretty closely, I did move on Friday, and it's just been like a bitch and a half getting everything all set up and ready to go. But for the most part, the crib is situated. I'm super happy with it. Time zone is different, so if I ever like don't wake up early or I'm like not tweeting right by market open, it's because I'm still getting used to that. But it's a work in progress. I'm sure I'll be there eventually. But yeah, without further ado, let's talk some fib levels, projections, and wave targets, and all that good stuff that everyone is here to see and talk about. So, I guess first of all, what I want to do is draw attention to how each cycle, like how it starts, like the consolidation period, if you will, and how we can kind of, I guess, use that as like a precursor to determine what's going to happen next. I tweeted something a few days ago talking about how for each cycle, we see like a pretty steep price increase followed by 5-ish days of consolidation, and then it's off to the races. So first of all, let's look here. If any of you were around, back in January, you remember this really well. This was like, so exciting, so sick. But we ran from opened at 20.42, had a high of 38.65, close at 31. Then obviously 5 days of consolidation here. And then, oh my God, this was like, I thought like the real squeeze is starting here. And I mean, like, for what it's worth, it was if they didn't shut off the buying. But to any OG apes, I'm sure you remember this day. We went from like 40 up to 76.76. Oh my God, dude, that was insane. But I just wanted to draw your attention to that, right? We had the sharp price increase. That's just like almost 100% day, followed by 5 days of pretty much nothing. And then, boom, from like a low of like 40, and then a week later we're at like 483. Next one we're going to be looking at is the February run. Though daily chart doesn't do it justice though. Because if you remember, it actually went from like a 40 to 200 after hours. If you look at the top left up here, yeah, high up 200, which is ridiculous. But for the sake of looking at daily candles and keeping that pattern going, we're going to be doing that. This is actually when I first started making DDs. Shout out to any of the OGs that read my like TTM squeeze post. But yeah, right. We had 1, 2. I guess you could argue this was like your 1 day up, but that doesn't matter too much, Then we had our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of sideways, and then 3 days of explosiveness. Low of 146 up to a high of what was this, like 348, I think. The next one, this was May right here. Not as big of a sharp price increase as the previous cycles, but the pattern was still there. So, price increase after this whole sideways period of nothing. Then we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then boom, here we go. We start to go crazy. And then now, obviously, right, really sharp price increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I retarded? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So today was day 6. You could argue it was like part of the breakout, but obviously we closed red. So what I'm going to be doing now is digging a little bit deeper into this structure right here alone and not focusing too deeply on like future projections just yet. I'll get to it in a second, don't worry. Let's look at a 5-minute. So first of all, the way I see this, let me go to a different count so you can see it. Is this the right one? Bear with me. Yeah, okay, this is it. So the day I called the 195 low, I'll link the video on the top right if you missed it, but basically we came to the conclusion that 195 right here was the low, and you can see literally to the tick. That was epic. That was so epic. But yeah, so I was basing the low, or like this whole movement, off of this low right here. I'm ignoring this section right here just because it doesn't make sense to me. I can't really find a way to make it fit into the count. What I think it was is fun facts. It's really not that hard to move prices pre-market. You don't even need to like buy or sell anything. You just put in orders and it'll the price will like reflect it in the candles. So for that reason, I'm not really gonna pay too much attention to this. The algorithm, the high frequency trading algorithm, we bottomed right here. And so I'm just gonna be basing that off of what I'm about to show you guys. I'm not even gonna try and like subdivide the count up to here. There's so many ways to do it. It's up to everyone's own interpretation. I'm gonna pull up a 30-minute. But basically, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And this would make up a wave one within this, because remember, we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, so that'll be a 1, and then a 2 here, 2 here. We're gonna dig into that in a second. 3, 4, 5, up to somewhere in this area, possibly up to here. We have to see how this plays out, but the way my thinking is, based off this wave one here, it'll probably go, actually, before we get into that, let's just talk targets, like retrace targets. So first of all, wave two, most common retrace target is 0.618, and lo and behold, right there is your 0.618. But digging a little bit deeper, we got to pull out our extension tools, and I'm going to go back to the other count, actually. Was it this one? Yeah. So remember, A, B, C down, and 9 times out of 10, your A and your C waves are going to be equal, meaning let's say your A wave down is 5 points down, your B wave will be 3 points up, then your C will likely be 5 points down from the high of the B wave, right? So in this scenario, I'm not even going to try and do the math, 231 down to 214. Let's just say like 20 points, 19, 20 points. What? No, I really am retarded. 231, 214. It's like what, 16, 17? Yeah, that's more like it. Literally, let's just forget I said that. Let's remove this extension real quick, just so you can visualize like what I'm going to be doing here. So, as I was saying, most common, we'll see a 1-to-1 extension ratio hit, but we did hit the 0.618, which also happens. It's either, in my experience, it's 0.618, 1 or 1.618. Others are, like the others happen, but, it's not super common. I don't like to show them just because I don't really see it happening all the time. But, so assuming we didn't bottom here at the 0.618, mind you, this is most common. Assuming we didn't, that would put our 1-to-1 A to C extension down pretty much at the 78.6 level, at like 202.5. That was stupid. Yeah, like down right around here, 203, 202.57, like that area. So if we do continue to drop into tomorrow, that would be what I'm watching for before commencing our wave 3. And let's just say hypothetically we do continue to drop, to get our targets for the wave 3, we go extension from bottom of 1 to the top of 1 down to low of 2. Let's just say we hit here. We're going to take off the 0.618 and the 0.786. First target being 238. Ideally, though, 1618 comes out to 261.29. But, as soon as this low is formed, it could have been formed today. I was tweeting about this in real time. We bounce to the 0.618 and also the 0.618 extension of A to C. So it's not super convincing. We have to wait and see, but, based off that, it's possible, but we don't know yet. And, let's just say hypothetically from there, our wave 4 will retrace, ideally 0.382%. So, it could go like 261 to 240. And then finally to measure 5, we'd go 1 to 3 to 4 and 0.618 to 0.786 and 280 to 291. And this actually coincides with, if you read my DDs a lot, or you'll remember this target, right? My 0.618 target of this entire wave 1 right here. And so this, after we form, assuming we hit around here, this will just form a wave 1 within this wave 3 in yellow. This is what we're looking at right here. So we'll see. It is early to tell, but that interpretation makes sense to me. Hypothetically, drop tomorrow down to like 202, 203, and then we would start to rip to the upside. Elliott waves, like in this sense, obviously it's like human nature and financial markets, but in this instance, obviously GameStop is such a manipulated security. But fractals is coded into the algorithm, so yeah. This isn't. I don't even know if I'd like consider this a gap, because if we go to a 4 hour, it doesn't show up. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. It's like somewhere around here, but I guess also like keep an eye out for that, like somewhere in this vicinity. I don't know. Let's say the 0.854, like 200. Um, you know, I'd be looking for a bounce around here. But I think that covers about everything. Actually, let's look at option statistics real quick. Yeah, look at that. Oh, you love to see it. 24% sold at the bid, 23 at the ask or above, and between the market 52. This is relatively bullish flow, technically speaking, because it's traded at the bid. We can assume that they were shorted, but it's not necessarily like 100% that that's what's going on. Obviously more calls than puts traded. And I also like to draw your attention to the weekly option chain. Do I have open interest on? Yeah. And so if we're looking here, open interest being how many options are held or open at the moment, and volume being how many were traded today. And whenever you see volume is greater than open interest, I wouldn't consider it unusual volume, but this is like it's set up for a gamma ramp, which is very, very interesting. Look at the volume compared to the open interest just today alone. Like, this is stupid. Stop. Why are you buying this, dude? A 450 call expiring in 2 days. Why are you buying this? Come on. 6,700 motherfuckers are holding this. Like, dude, stop donating your money. But looking at the chain here, huge volume in the 250 calls. And then pretty much everything else, the volume is greater than the open interest for the most part. So it'll make for an interesting next few days. But yeah, that about covers everything. Yeah, see, this is like 12 minutes. It's longer than I expected it to be, but I like to get my viewpoints across, show you guys what I'm thinking is going to happen. Obviously, I'm retarded. I don't know anything. This is just speculation on my part, but it's fun. I like trying to predict what's going to happen. This is aneurysm inducing, but yeah, thanks for stopping by. I might have to go read a DD now, so if you guys are watching this before I get the DD up, salute to you. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.